Let's get more on the election now, and the seat of Fowler in Sydney's southwest will be one to watch on election night. There's a bit of history here. This was the seat Labor lost last election after choosing to run Christina Keneally instead of local candidate Tu Le, angering the electorate. They chose independent Dai Le instead. But this time, she's up against Tu Le, who has hosted Anthony Albanese on the campaign trail. Peter Dutton has also visited Fowler, despite there being no Liberal candidate. My colleague Dan Borsha spoke to Tu Le last week, and today Dai Le joins us. Dai, welcome. This is a cost of living election. At the centre of this, Labor is offering tax cuts while the coalition is promising to halve the fuel excise, shaving 25 cents off a litre of petrol. Which is the better offer here for the people of Fowler?
Can I say that I'm glad to see that both the major parties, are now focusing on the cost of living. As the first independent to be elected to the federal parliament, I believe I was the first ever to raise the issue on cost of living in May 2022 and 2023. And I've been driving the conversation in Parliament, asking questions around tax cuts, around HEX reduction, around petrol fuel excise tax cut, about Medicare. So I've been, harping on about those issues. So it's great to see that the major parties are now campaigning on those issues. I wonder, though, whether it's a bit too little, too late for our community, who are still really feeling the rise in interest rates, the rise in cost of living, in particular for food. We have a lot of families here that are now lining up asking for food hampers. Grocery price has gone up. For businesses, energy price has gone up by more than 30%. And I hear that daily when I go out there and speak to those communities, not just small businesses, but also families struggling to pay their bills. So I'm glad to see that the major parties are campaigning on issues that I have been fighting for. Let's see what happens on election day and whether or not people will feel that they're going to be better off under, the current government. What's
your gauge on those policies, though? Which do you think would be more meaningful to those in your electorate?
Look, I think stage 3 tax cuts revised was very good. The HEX debt reduction was great. The the 70 cents a day, for anybody, that is kind of really hard. How do you really see that as that will assist? But I suppose for a community like Fowler, low to middle income earners, any kind of help, people will appreciate it. But I think for petrol fuel excise, obviously that has been something that I've been asking for as well. That will help more people out here because of the businesses that are driving. We have families out here that are driving 3 to 4 cars, and they're still using petrol-fueled cars, and they travel long distances, and they have to pay toll as well, traveling from west to east and to the city to work. So there's a lot of cost still. So all of those policies will certainly, it's like a little drop in the ocean for families, but the interest rates rise is still there. It's still an insurance cost is still there. Energy bills, they will still see it there constantly, and there's no price stability in our energy bills. So, it is very hard for families. I can just assure you and your audience, people who don't live in Western Sydney, you probably don't realise how difficult it is for families with 3, 4, 5 children, with 3 to 4, 5 cars, trying to run small family-run businesses with a lot of taxes that are now, and as well as the green taxes that people have to pay on their energy bills. So people are still feeling the pain and choosing between heating and eating,
there's a lot of pressures on. What about the latest developments? The coalition seems to have read the room on work from home. It's dumped its promise to force people back to the office. Do you welcome that move?
Oh, look, of course, there are lots of people that will be, they're saving costs, especially the cost of living. People don't have to to travel to work, and especially for our families and workers here in Western Sydney. But the majority of our workers still are working in factory workers, teachers, nurses, retail workers, of course, those people can't work from home. But for the small percentage of people who benefit from working from home, like the public servants that are servicing our community here in Fowler, and I have no doubt that we have flexible workplace arrangements and family-friendly arrangements that we should support those workers. And I'm glad that that the government and the opposition are supporting workers working from home. So yeah.
Now, you say that probably for the people of Fowler, the petrol excise halving would be more meaningful than the tax cuts announced by Labor. Now, you ran twice as a Liberal candidate for New South Wales Parliament. In the event of a hung federal parliament, would the coalition be your preference?
I got chucked out by the Liberal Party, so I'm glad. I'm glad to be an independent. I think I'm a centre, pragmatic member of our community who grew up here, and I remember sitting on a bench in Cabramatta in 1991, making a job application to the ABC, doing a video interview before anybody did, applying for a job at the ABC. So in Cabramatta Freedom Plaza. So I know my community very, very well, and my interest is my community. I'm there to represent and making sure that my community get the resources and infrastructure that they need. Let's wait till the results of the election. And I don't want to be presumptuous. I've got to win this election first. My focus on Fowler and Fowler community first and foremost.
With your community's needs in mind, though, in that scenario of a hung parliament, and you could play a pivotal role as a crossbencher, what would you be asking for in that initial horse trading and throughout the term of government? What is the priority for you?
Look, the priority for my community, of course, will be investment in our hospital, our Fairfield Hospital. That has not been, have had no funding. I mean, the state gave promise of 500 million to upgrade, but we know that's going to go into a master plan costing of that. I'm asking for the federal government to match that, if not more, to rebuild our hospital to cater for the increase, population out here, especially those of migrants and refugees. We've had 10,000 refugees settled here in Fowler in the last 10 years with not a single infrastructure investment from any government. Either school, public transport, housing. So hospital is very important for our community. Healthcare needs is very important, especially accessing doctors and GPs who speak the same language, and incentivizing doctors to work here like they do incentivize doctors to work in the region. Of course, our school halls do not have air conditioning, as well as technology, and we've got a large population of migrants and children from refugee backgrounds. Of course, job opportunities, as well as small businesses. We've got about 28,000 small businesses here run by families in Fowler. They need absolute support in terms of the huge level of taxes that are on them, and the increase in cost of running a business nowadays. Energy will be critical for me. Energy price stabilisation for our community, and of course for the rest of Australia as well. But I focus very much on Southwest and Western Sydney that are just left out. Transport, the East-West Connect, connecting our community to job opportunities in Western Sydney. There's nothing there by both state government and federal government not investing in our infrastructure.
Dai Le, the independent member for Fowler, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.